Hi, Standard 3s. We're still reading Dustbin Charlie. And last time you read about how the Teen Man vanished. Do you remember what other three things disappeared from the skip? Today we're going to read a bit about a walk down Union Street. And I wonder what they will find out as they take a walk or something. The weather cheered up after tea, so they all went for a quick walk to the park. Grandad was a bit grumpy. He'd had a difficult day with his inventions. I could help, offered Charlie. Let me help when we get back. But Grandad shook his head. There are bits and pieces all over the place, he said. Too many for you to sort out. Too many for me too, Grandma told him. Now, if you'd just get that shed cleared out, we could grow some seeds in it and have flowers for the garden, like Mrs. Bats. Mrs. Bats doesn't have a garden, Charlie pointed out. No, but she puts flowers in little pots. You can put them in anything. You certainly can, Grandad said as they walked past number 23. Just look at that. What are they looking at? Oh, that. Nice. Charlie looked. Outside Mrs. Bat's front door, there was an old sink with no taps, and it was full of flowers, big round red ones at the back and bushy little blue ones at the front. White starry ones peeped out in between. It was really pretty. Well, I never did, said Grandma as they walked by. Fancy using an old sink to put flowers in. But how did she get it down the street? That's a nice way of recycling, don't you think, guys? I fetched it, said a voice. I fetched it in this. And a bicycle bell went ting-a-ling. But the bell wasn't on a bike. I wonder what it was in. What do you think it was in? It was screwed to an old pram. Paperboy Frank had uncrumbled the wheels and filled it with copies of the Daily Bugle. It's smashing, this pram is, he told them. I can do my rounds quicker with this. It fits more papers. I can get back towards Top of the Pops now if I've got my pram. And he went off, whistling. Well, I never did, repeated Grandma, as they walked round the park. Fancy using an old pram for a paper round. But how did he uncrumble the wheels? I helped, said a voice, and they all looked down. There was Carly Harry, stretched out in his usual bench. That's his usual bench. He was still wearing his plastic bag hat, and he was all covered up with a bright blue blanket. It had been very neatly mended. Frank's mum sawed all the holes, he said proudly, and I straightened those pram wheels for him with me own bare hands. That's what living outdoors does for you, he told Charlie. Gives you strength. See? I'll need this blanket when the nights get chilly. It's a bit of all right, this blanket is. Well, I never did, muttered Grandma as they walked home. So it wasn't just a lot of old rubbish, was it, Charlie? Charlie yawned as he snuggled into bed that night. The stuff in the skip was all useful to somebody. You're right, Charlie, said Grandad. The sink's full of flowers, the pram's full of papers, and the blanket's keeping Carly Harry warm. It's to be hoped he washed it, added Grandma, plumping up the pillows. I wonder who got the Tin Man now. Charlie said sleepily. That child's still going on about tin cans, Grandma said to Grandad as they went down the stairs. I wouldn't be surprised if he'd got a temperature. Do you think he's got a temperature? Or he's wondering what would have happened to it? I wonder. Next time we'll read about the big breakfast mystery. I wonder what that's going to be about. Bye, guys. See you later.